Don't completely lock out, so don't worry about that. We've got weight. Weight on the other leg now. You want to move. You want to keep your waist equally same distance. What I've got planned today, the theme is time under tension. It's not going to be for every movement. Time under tension. What that basically is you're going to take the movement slow, controlled, pause, but you're not going to rest.
Okay.
Yeah? That's the general theme. So we'll start off with legs on exactly that, to drum into the concept of it. I'm doing a bit of an intuition training one, but it's going to be more, if I can use the expression, gym type moves. That makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
Bit meatier is how I'd frame it, less clinical. So what we're going to start with is legs. I'm just going to get my, are you okay to start now, yeah?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right, so we're going to be doing the footwork first. Lay yourself down, set the strings up, not too heavy.
Not heavy.
Oh, so I was looking for something that was right in front of me. Now I'm going to do it on this just so I can see you, okay?
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a warm up. So you don't want it too light. You certainly don't want it too heavy. I just need to see this so I can actually see you. Put that there. Brilliant. So you know what you're doing, Claire. This is more for the camera. Heels together, balls of the toes on. Now you're going to do 10s, Claire, but I apologize, we're going to do 5s. So take tension on so you're not completely relaxed, so the carriage is away from the stopper. Slowly extend it out, but you don't want to completely lock out. You want to keep the tension on the muscles. You're going to hold it there for about a count of 2, and you're slowly going to bring it in and about a count of 4. Once we several seconds in, several seconds out, and in no time at all do you want to relax the muscles off. I'm only doing 5. This is the concept of time under tension. So you pause at the top, a slight pause at the bottom. So that's the fit. Keep the tension on. Now put your feet parallel, assuming you've done your 5. Now the feet are parallel, the balls of the toes on. Same apply, you're trying to keep the tension all the time, away you go. Don't worry about sinking the heels down for this one, Claire, when the legs are parallel, yeah? So you're only doing 5. Don't completely lock out. Keep the heels high though, that will work your calves. Slowly bend down. Don't completely send it in and relax. Keep the heels high, especially as you extend the legs out. Don't completely lock them out, because if you keep the heels high, you should feel and see your calves working. So again, the whole concept is the muscle is working all the time. At no point do you relax. So once you've done your 5 on the balls of the toe, you then put the arch of the foot on. And the same principle. So for all of these ones that we do today with time under tension, you'll try to take momentum out of the equation. So there should be no fast parts to it. It should be controlled, slow, pause, take momentum out. So there's nothing quick, there's no sudden movements. You want heels on, Claire?
No.
Okay, just I couldn't see a bit my eyes. Our big telly's broke. I went and knocked the big telly over, so I've got you on a small screen, I'm afraid.
That's all right. I'm on 3.
3, okay. So again, try not to relax the muscles, keep the tension on, and then put the heels on. So the feet are parallel, hips socket distance apart, feet are flexed back, the legs aren't locked out, and you slowly bend in. Pause, slowly take all momentum away, don't completely lock out. 1. 5. And then we put the balls of the toes on after that one, nice and wide, feet in, turn out. As you sink down the knees out to the side, don't completely rest. Avoid the temptation, especially with this one, avoid the temptation of locking the legs out. Keep the bend there, keep the heels high. You should see and feel your calf spiral. Sink down. As you sink down into this one, especially, really open those knees up. Don't completely relax down the bottom and take it away straight away. So especially with this one, down the bottom, there's no real pause. Straighten the leg. Don't completely straighten the legs out. Keep a bend, keep the heels high, pause. Slowly lower down. So for this one, no resting at the bottom, come out of it straight away, but avoid coming out of it too quickly. Again, keep the heels highish, not too. Don't sink them down for this version. So get the adductors, the quads, the hamstrings, get the whole lower half really. And after the balls of the toes on wide, we then come on to heels on, nice and wide, still feet in turn out, the same principle. Don't completely rest at the bottom, slowly squeeze up, don't completely lock out, slowly lower down. Once you've done your 5th one of them, we're going to go to calf raises. So you then put the balls of the toes on. With your feet hip socket distance apart. Sink the heels down. So the feet are hip socket distance apart, the balls of the toes on. Sink the heels down. Now, slowly come up, but there's something different this time. You're going to stay up on the ball of the big toe and maybe the second toe. Keep the heels lifted. You're not sinking down. Stay up, stay up, stay up. Oh, I'm cramping in my right foot already, cramping in my left one. Try and keep those heels as high. I've done a lot of leg work yesterday, last few days. Try and keep your heels up as high as you can. You're not sinking down. Keep the heels raised. The people on the planet have got the best legs at ballerinas. They're the best shaped, best developed legs, especially calves. They don't do any weights, but what they do is hold the position. And that's what we're trying to do. Another half a minute of this if we can. But all the time you're trying to, can you lift your heels higher, 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 higher? Can you point your feet more? Can you try and just be on the ball of the big toe, maybe the second toe? And when you do that, you might feel it on the outside there, the perineum. It's not just getting your calves now, it's getting the laterals, the stabilizers of the ankle. We've got another 15 seconds of this. Keep the heels high, keep them high, keep them high. I'm cramping away my right heels. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sink down to that. Come off the reformer, give your legs a shake. Let me just check in on the reformer. Okay. It might be a little bit of platform on, platform off, I'm afraid, Claire. Unless you can do what I'm doing the other side of yours in such a way. So what we're going to go on to. This position here, so the bar with the resistance on the bottom, elbows to the front about shoulder width apart, and it's slow motion. You're slowly going to go up. Don't completely lock out, pause. Slowly going down. Now whether you do that there, whether you can do it kneeling, so can you put your platform on or can you do it the other side?
I put platform on, it's fine.
Okay. So for different people, depending on what type of reform you've got, to get the level of range of motion after, some people might have to sit on a box. Doesn't matter whether you're down a box or you're sat down, provided there's a decent resistance. So for this one, you do want a decent resistance. It doesn't want to be arty-farty. The elbows are going to be as wide as this bar. Elbows pointing down, so they're not out to the side for this one, they're pointing down. Now sink the arms down, the elbows back, the hands back down, as low down as you can. Keep the spine tall, the spine shouldn't move. Now slowly, let's take several seconds, you go push the bar up, but you don't lock the arms out completely. Pause, slowly, ridiculously slowly lower it down. Now for me to get what I'm after, it does need to be a really challenging resistance for what I'm after. So for me, I'm going to put another resistance on. I've got 2 blue screens here. I'm going to use that. So down the bottom, it doesn't want to be, for me, if I'm like that, it's relaxed. So just lift the elbows slightly so you can feel the shoulders fire up. That's the start. Slowly push up, slow, 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 slow. Don't completely lock out. Pause. And as slow as you can. And away you go. We're doing this for time rather than how many. It doesn't relax at the bottom. Keep the muscles under tension. Pause. Slowly. You're taking momentum. There's nothing fast about this. And this minute should feel like horrible. Pause at the top. As slowly as you can down. Don't relax it down the bottom. Keep the tension on the muscles. Take momentum out of it, so not too quickly as you start the movement off. There will be a temptation when it's down here to suddenly jerk it up. Slow and controlled. Don't completely lock out. Keep the muscles under tension. Slow, slow, slow as you go. Now your spine, so clarify this, your spine doesn't want to move. It's your arms, it's your shoulder blades that are moving. Don't let the head jut forward or backwards. We're on last 10 seconds. Slow, slow, slow. Pause. Now what I'd like to do, halfway down, pause and hold it. And then slowly lower down. And I don't know how to do it. I need to give my arms a bit of, you can feel that in your shoulders?
Oh God, yes.
In your arms maybe, triceps, super. So Claire, on your reformer, with your platform on, can you do, you know the ones we do the other side of the reformer, the wall slides? Yeah. Yeah, okay, so that's what we're going to go on to next. So let me just get another strap. I didn't say at the beginning, this is sort of, there's another principle called peripheral heart action, and that's what we're sort of working on now. Find the resistance.
Actually, let me try it, Paul.
Okay.
At a funny angle. Yeah.
Okay, so the one we're going to go on to is where the big strap is below the knee, the top part of the calf. Below the knee, the top part of the calf. Now I normally do this the other side of the reformer on the floor. It's a little bit safer. And then hands on the pelvis, hands on the hips. You're going to walk back so there's a decent amount of resistance there. The feet are about shoulder, if not hip socket distance apart. The toes ever so slightly out to the side. I call these wall slide knee bends. So imagine you're heading backwards against the wall. So Claire, we're going to apply the same principle. Put a slight bend in the knees. You never lock the knees out. So it's slightly different how we normally do it. Bend down, pause, slowly come back up, but don't lock them out. So I would suggest probably having your feet shoulder width apart for this rather than hip sockets. I apologize. So can you get your feet a bit wider? It's a different version from what we normally do. Normally we lock the legs out, push the knees back. Don't. Keep a bend in the knees, slowly bend down, pause, slowly come up, but don't lock out. And away you go. And you're deliberately keeping the head, I can't see your top off what it's doing, but you keep your head back, because we're going to do a different version in a minute. You keep your head against that imaginary wall, you keep your back against the imaginary wall. You do not straighten the legs and come out of it. Keep the bend on, keep the muscle under tension. So we worked our legs to start with, then we worked our shoulders, so the heart has got to work harder at pumping the blood to the top half. Now we're working the lower half again. It's called peripheral heart action. I've got another half a minute of this yet. So again, make sure you're not locking the legs out. I can feel my legs burning already. So the knees travel over the toes. I'm limited by how wide I can have my legs, because there's another version I do. Last 10 seconds. But when we finish, keep your legs bent. Last 5. Again, don't completely lock out. Okay, now what we're going to do is similar, but you keep your back flat. Now you can hinge forward. Now you should find you can sink further down. Pause. Come back up, but don't completely lock out. So you keep the back flat. So watch, if you watch me, you can, the same rules apply for the lower half. Don't lock the legs out. Keep the heart lifted as you hinge forward. You keep your back flat, and you should find you can sink much further down, but keep the back flat. So if you look at me, you don't want to be rounded. Keep the heart lifted. Slowly, slowly, slowly stand up, but don't lock out. Another 50 seconds, yeah? It should feel like agony. Don't completely lock out. Pause at the bottom. Take momentum out of it. It's going to be tempting to come up quick. Don't come up slow, 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 slow. Now, when you bend forward, the idea of bending forward is to allow greater range of motion. So it's no good bending forward if you're not taking your bum lower. You should be able to sink your bum more or less down to the floor. Not quite, but you get the idea. That's where you'll really feel this. If you're not sinking your bum lower than you did before, you're not going to feel it. You're really going to sink lower. Let the knees travel over the toes. Don't worry about that. We haven't got weight on our shoulders. Super. Make that the last one and come out of that. Super. Brilliant. There's my yellow strings. We're doing backstroke. Not backstroke, sorry, we're doing butterfly now, but with a light resistance. No time under tension for this one. Just normal ones. But we are going to do it for time, if that makes sense. So rather than say do 8 one way, 8 backwards, we're going to do it for time. Let me just stand this clock up. So it's a light resistance. Legs are wider than the mat. Lift the feet, lift the knees, lift the thighs. You're doing it slower than we normally do it though, Claire. Away you go. Forwards. Just stick to forwards. We're doing it for a minute. Oh. Let's slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Want to take about 10 seconds to do a full rotation with the arms. About. That's how slow you want to go. All the way around one way.
Hold on, I've not started.
That's okay, I know. I've only just noticed. So, away you go. Time starts now. So again, to do a full circle, you're looking at it taking about 10 seconds. So slow it down from what we normally do. You keep your feet and knees, thighs lifted throughout. Maybe count in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the feet, knees and thighs are lifted. You're lifting the crown and head, you're putting your spine into extensions. You take your arms up and over. and then you lower your arms. So as you apply the pressure down, that's when the spine comes into extension. It stays in extension till the arms are above, lower down. Make this one the last one, and then take yourself out. We are going to do backwards, but not just yet. Get your push through bar. Shoulders are down. You're going to take it to a half roll back as best you can with that bar. You still tilt back, tilt back. Keep the spine in that position. Push forward. Keep the heels of the hand on the bar. Then you restack, the shoulders are down, and I call this the downward dog. You're then going to reach up. Push it up, push it up, push it up. Your sit bones evenly weighted, and just keep on going backwards and forwards in those three positions. In this position, just check the shoulder blades are down, the back is flat. Half roll back. Spine stretch, push the bar through with an arch back. Flat back, shoulders down. I'm going to call this downward dog. You push up. And just keep articulating. Maybe enjoy that half roll back, maybe more than the others. Maybe the spine stretch, perhaps. Because in a moment, not just yet, we're going to go to the butterfly again, but taking it the other way. So, make that the last one. Super. Back to butterflies. This time you're doing it the opposite direction. So you're laying down on your feet, reach the legs away behind you, arms come back and down. As you push down, you lift the spine into extension. Just let me know when you started.
Ready.
Good. Away you go. So keep the legs up. You're trying to keep the legs still as well, as still as you can. As you push down, that's when you lift the head and heart into extension, the spine into extension. Nice and slow and controlled. So you're trying to stop wobbling around all over the show. Spine comes down, but don't completely rest down. Push down. I don't like to worry about the breath. Let the breath take care of itself. Just don't hold the breath. So again, the legs are wider than the mat. That fires up the glute medius in particular. You get your glutes a bit more. Feet in, turn out. Works your glutes halfway. So as you push down, that's when you come into extension. Last 10 seconds. Last 5 seconds. Lower down. This time we're going to use the bar. Wooden bar, maple bar. For the light resistance for this one. It's on the top. This is the one we're going to do, Claire. Shoulder blades are down. So you're push the bar down, but push it with your shoulder blades. Send your shoulder blades down. Tilt the pelvis back, take it to a half roll back. Now this is where time under tension. So you hold the half roll back position, your feet are flexed back. Elbows out to that. Slow, 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 slow. Want to take several seconds coming in. Hold it for several seconds. Let it go back, taking several seconds. And then you can come up, out. But you don't relax, the shoulders are down. So you always feel it engaged here. So we're going to do it for a minute. Away you go. Half roll back. Keep the shoulders engaged. Elbows out to the side. Slow, slow, slow. Bring it in. Pause several seconds. Slowly let it return for several seconds. Restack, but you don't relax. You keep your shoulders down, the arms down. Away you go. Half roll back. Keeping the shoulders engaged. Feel that in shoulder blades pushing down. Elbows wide, slow. Elbows wide. Slowly, slowly, slowly return. Keep the shoulder blades engaged as you restack. So this never relaxes. The shoulder blades should never relax. Half roll back. Keep the shoulders down. Elbows wide, slow. Pause. So it's going to just below your boobs. Slowly return it, but keep the shoulders engaged. When you lost it, then restack. One more, last one. Super. Brilliant. So we're going to go to legs, so we're going to go to beats next. I'm going to choose a lightest resistance for what we're doing. So I'm going to use the yellow springs, Claire. And what am I doing? Foot in there. Foot in the small one, the big one, if you've got it over the ankle. Hands on the footrest, on the shoulder rest, or on the tower. Now keep tension, so it doesn't want to be slack. It's time under tension, so keep tension on there so these muscles are engaged, even if only slightly. And you're going to do it ridiculously slow, focusing on the top part of the hamstrings as you lower down. Don't actually get it to touch the floor, just hover off the floor and slowly. The key here is slow. Let's take several seconds, but the tension wants to stay on, and away you go with the other leg then. Pause. Slow it down. Just watching. Don't join in the fun yourself with these. So the key is slow. Oh, slower than that. Take all momentum out of it. And there wants to be tension at the top. If there's not, you may have to change to a different resistance or put the spring on the tower higher if you can. Pause down the bottom. Slowly take all momentum out of it. I'm going to carry on. We've got another 20 seconds yet, and then we're going to do something slightly different. So make that the last one. If you want to glance in, Claire, what you're basically going to do. So in that position, there wants to be tension on. We're going to lower both legs, however, imprint. And again, you're going to slowly go down. Both legs together, slow down. As slow as you can, keep it imprinted. Only as low down as you can honestly keep that lower back flat. For me, it's about there. Pause down the bottom. And again, slow as you can. Ridiculously slow coming back. Let's take 10 seconds coming back. But when it comes back, keep the tension on. So for me, it's going to be there. Got to keep that tension on there. Pause, and then slowly squeeze down again. Now I'm doing this for time, so away you go. Keep the lower back flat. You should feel your abdominals kicking. Keep the lower back slow, slow, slow. Take momentum out of it. Keep tension at the top. Pause. So the hands on the tower, it's just to stop you sliding, not the resistance will want to pull me that way. It's just to stop you sliding, that's all. You just glance in at what Claire's doing. There's another half a minute yet. As low down as you can keep your lower back flat. Super. Feel your stomach at all?
Yeah, definitely.
Get those legs together though. Brace the legs together. Squeeze them together as well. Go on, girl. We've got another 10 seconds yet. Come on, Matt. So, this is the movement if you want to sit up. Again, it wants to be a decent resistance, doesn't want to be too light. So for me, I'm sitting obviously facing you. So that bar is just about skirting my shoulder. That's how close you go. So you don't be out here somewhere. You don't get too close, so it's there. It just wants to be able to sink to the side of that shoulder. My hip and my shoulder is in line with the center of the bar. The elbow is pointing the front. Focus on your sit bones, and now keep a bit of tension there. So lift the elbow up so it's not down there, relaxed. Keep the elbow up, slow as you can, push up. Don't completely lock out. Pause, slowly lower down. Now as you're doing this, carry on doing it. Don't completely relax down the bottom. We're going to keep it there, so there's tension there. And away you go. Pause, slow is the key. Take all of it. Now listen to your sit bones and spine. It's great if you can see yourself in a mirror or in a camera. I can see myself on the screen. You don't want, if you focus on your sit bones, staying evenly weighted, you shouldn't go too far wrong, keeping your spines, stomach pulled in, the heart lifted. It doesn't completely lock out. You pause at the top. The elbows pointing towards the front. Pause, and away you go. So what does that feel like on that side? You've got another 10 seconds. Muscle isn't relaxing the stage, and it's just getting your bicep, it's getting your chest, it's getting your back, getting your stomach. And lower down. And then all you're going to do is spin. I'm not going to spin yourself around because you'll be watching me back. Spin yourself around and do exactly the same on the other side, on your other arm. So again, focus on your sit bones, just checking the same distance. Your hip and the tip of your shoulder is in line with the center of the bar. Your hand is possibly just a little bit in front of your shoulder. Now keep tension on and away you go. Slowly squeeze up. Don't completely lock out. Pause at the top. And again, you're taking all momentum out of it. But to Pilatify this, the spine doesn't want to move. You want to keep your waist equally, same distance. You don't want to crunch over or move your spine at all. The spine doesn't move, it's just the arm and the shoulder blade. Last 5 seconds. And then come out of that. Super. So watch this way, Claire. Similar sort of move. I'm just going to put that, I put the safety strap on to save it smacking down. You're basically going to get on the inside, if your reformer will allow, what you're going to do. And you're going to basically be in the same position, similar position. This is what you're basically going to do, a side bend. It's crucial you listen to your sit bones. You're basically going to push that up. And then you're going to take it into a side bend. You're trying to push that up as far, but you keep the sit bones and your pelvis parallel to the floor, evenly weighted. So if anything, as I go up, I'm actually going over to my left now. I'm pushing this hip, this pelvis, the sit bone down. And then I slowly come back out. We're going to do it for time again. Don't completely let the shoulder relax. So when you're ready, let me know. Yeah. There's just some resistance is out. So it's picture side bend, the lateral flexion of the spine, working the shoulder, working into this side, the latissimus. Super. Slowly squeeze up. Reach up. Keeping this opposite sit bone down, 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 and slowly back out. And again. So as you side more, you're trying to push that bar up as far as you can, keeping the grip on the bar the same, but keeping the sit bone and pelvis down. So you get the stretch here. Quadratus, erectus minor group, latissimus, all the almost all the rotator cuffs. So again, the key for this is keeping the sit bone and pelvis down. So anyone can do that, but we can't keep the pelvis down and reach and stretch your. It's like the latissimus lat stretch we did. And hopefully you can feel it on your shoulders now. Make that one the last one. And then flip over to the other side and watch you this one. And do the other side just to balance out. Super. And come out of that one. Super. If you watch this next one, it's a roll down using the push through bar. So I've got two strong resistances on. So my elbows, when my arms are at right angles, I'm in good posture. In other words, I'm not out there somewhere. The elbows are into the side of my body. This is the movement. The legs are going to be hip socket distance apart. I'm just going to push the arms down then. And then from there, I'm just going to do a roll down. Trying to keep the pelvis where it is. Try not to push the bum out. Keep the pelvis where it is. And then trying to push the bar as far, keeping the weight evenly balanced in my feet. Kind of push the bar as far forward as I can. Push the bar through. Pause and slowly come out of it. The key for these is slow. Especially coming up, it actually works your abdominals a lot more. And then once you come into standing, bend the elbows again. So it's not a massive tricep workout, but you are getting your arm extensors there. And then don't get the bum back. So to recap, arms at right angles. The weight is evenly balanced over the feet, and it's just the weight is in front of the shin. Push the bar down, use your arm extensors. Keep the pelvis over the hips over the feet if you can as you roll down. Now make sure the weight as you roll down doesn't go into the toes. It stays just in front of the shin and you reach the arms forward. Try not to sink in your pelvis. Keep your hips over your feet. Pause and slowly restack the spine. Keeping the weight over the midpoint of the foot. Restack, bend the elbow again. Shoulders are down. Can you not adjust the height of your bar, Claire? No, okay. So obviously I can't see too well because of the angle, but just make sure your hips are staying over. That's what fires the abdominals up. The hips stay over their ankles as much as you can. We're under a minute of this yet. Slow, 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 slow. Keeping the weight over the midpoint of the foot. Reach and really feel the stretch. I can feel that in my lower back. Feel it in my back of my arms, back of my shoulders. Slowly restack. Slow. Slow is the key going up. It's surprising how much, if you slow it up coming up, your abdominals kick in. carry on with that there. I'm just changing this ready for the next one to demonstrate for you. So make the one you're on now the last one. Nice and slow, nice and slow. Don't allow the pelvis to go back. Don't take the weight into your toes. Keep it into the midpoint and reach those arms away. It's like a double lat stretch. Stretching off long area triceps. All these rotator cuff muscles here. Teres major, teres minor, infraspinatus, supraspinatus, latissimus dorsi. Brilliant. Okay, Claire, come on that one. I'll show you the next movement. Now, it wants to be a good resistance, a decent resistance. So, I've got the resistance underneath. I'm using 2 blue springs for this one. I'm standing in that position there with the bar is just in front, probably about 6 inches, maybe 10 inches in front of my thighs. Elbows out to the side, spine nice and tall. Elbows out to the side, I'm going to lift up as high as I can, which is there, without breaking the wrists. And what I mean by breaking the wrist is you keep your wrist straight. So from the front, it looks something like this. Elbows are out to the side. You're shrugging your shoulders up. Now, again, I want to do time for tension. So for me, with my setup, those springs need to be lower, so that's what I'm going to do. The forms are different, so you do want the resistance to kick in. So that, the resistance is kicking in from down there with me.
What are we doing, Paul? What's the move?
So it shrugs. So the hands are on the outside edge of the bar. Stand tall with the bar. It varies on machines, but about 6 inches. It doesn't want to be in front of your thighs. Elbows out to the side and shrug your shoulders up. Pause and slowly lower down. But don't completely relax at the bottom. So for me, it's elbows are still bent, not locked out. That's passive. Yeah. And just repeat, slow, slow, slow. Shrug your shoulders up. So again, from the front, it looks like this. Elbows out to the side, shrug your shoulders up. Pause. Slowly lower down, but don't relax down the bottom. I'm going to join you in the front. Elbows are out to the side. Lift them up as high up as you can. When I said without breaking the wrist, keep the wrist stiff. Don't let them bend. That just works your forearms. If you want to work your forearms, then by all means bend your wrists. The key for this is slow. Keep tension on the muscle all the time. Another 10 seconds. Can you hold it at the top for a bit longer? Can you shrug your shoulders up? So this is getting, and slowly lower down. Come to that. So that was getting your upper traps. We're going to work the lower ones now. So now, you put the springs at the top. I'll tell you what, I apologise, but we'll use the bar, the wooden bar. A maple pole. And you want a decent resistance on. Strong, I've got 2 blue ones. Now I normally do this the other side, so I've got a greater range of motion. So I'm going to put my feet. It will vary on people. Put your hands close together, palms up. And then you'll pull that in, so it wants to go to just below your boobs. I'll apologise. Okay, so if you're wearing a bra, just to below where the bra would be to the front. Your elbows are coming close to the body. They're not out to the side. Let me know when you're ready, Claire. So the last movement that we did, the shrugs, was the upper trapezius. We're working the lower ones now, the ones that help drop your shoulders down, but also works the muscles that roll the shoulders back. So you roll the shoulders back and down. Are you good to go?
Yeah, what is it?
Are they the only resistance you've got?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool, that's all.
Hey?
I'll move a bit back, it is tough enough.
Okay, but can you do it the other side so you're on the floor, so you've got a greater, because you want to feel the pull more from up there than that way. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah, that'll be a compromise for you. Turn it to a half roll back. So, okay, so this is for you then, right? Yeah? Because the pull really wants to come more from above than the side. So take it to a half roll back, but you keep your half roll back. Elbows into the body, pull that down towards your bottom of your bra. Pause, slowly allow it to go forward, but don't completely lock the arms out. Keep a bend in them. And again, pause, slowly bring it back in. Pause, and away you go. Everything is slow, you're taking momentum away from it. So again, this is working on quite a number of muscles, but it's the ones that help roll your shoulders back and send your shoulder blades down the back. And in a half roll back position, obviously you're working your abdominals a bit more. Again, don't have to worry about the breath, just let the breath take care of itself, providing you're not holding the breath. I'm just checking what Claire's doing. You're at the 20 seconds yet. Go on, pull that right in. Pause, 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 pause. Slowly return it. And make that the last one, come out of that one. Variation on the theme. I normally do this the other side. We're doing a Geronda divers. I'll show you what the move is. Now we're doing it from on high. So you basically, the pull wants to come from above. There's different ways of doing this. When I do it where you can pull from below, but to work on the muscles I want to work on, the pull wants to come from above. You're in a chair type position, a Russian squat position. What that means is the knees are above the ankles. Don't let the knees do that. Knees above the ankles, sit your bum down, flat back. Good reach forward, nice and wide. Elbows out to the side as you pull, that's a bit too far away. Elbows out to the side as you pull that into the top of your chest. Pause and slowly return it out. Keep your back flat, pull. But don't completely lock it out. And away you go. Let me just check in on Claire first. Okay, much slower, much slower. Pause, pause, pause. Away you go. The knees are above your ankles. Flat back, lower flat back. Pull it in, pause, elbows it out to the side, flared out to the side. Slowly return it. But don't completely lock the arms out, keep them bent. Pause. Slow, 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 slow. So you might feel this in your legs as well. Pause with that into your chest, into the top of your chest, bottom of your neck. Can you sink your bum down more? Can you keep your lower back flat? Pause. Last 10 seconds. And come out to that. And then we're back to reformer now. So you want to take your platform off. Give your heads up, Claire. We're doing monkey stretch. So Claire knows what monkey stretch cheers for purposes of the camera. You want your bum as close to the edge of a right resistance to work the abdominals. Feet about hip socket distance apart, balls and toes on, hands just on the outside, nice firm grip. Come right in. Squeeze the legs away, straighten the legs, keep the hands in the same position, try not to do that. Sink the heels down, come up on the balls of the toe, bring it back in, bring it right in. Stretching off the lower back, works the abdominals. Away you go. Stretch, sink the heels down, hamstrings and calves stretch, work the calves, bring it in. Again, we're doing this for time rather than how many. And lightest, not really lightest resistance, because we're going to go on to that in a minute. But can you get your bum closer to the edge of the loose form? Stretching off the lower back. There's the abdominals a bit more. So it's not time under tension. We're just doing this for half a minute yet. We're doing it for time, but it's not time under tension what we've been doing. Good stretch, get the hands forward. Super. Make that one the last one. And Claire, we're going to go into the hamstring and lunge stretch now. So hamstring stretch and lunge stretch, which is this one. I'm going to put another resistance on to what I feel like today. So I've got a medium and a light one on. Knees in line, the foot is against the shoulder rest, the foot in line with the knee. Again, we're doing this for time, Claire. This foot is in line with your hip socket bone, your sit bone. Both hands on. So you lunge away, so you tend to lunge with the right leg for the hip flexors and stretch off the hamstrings. This is a much tighter side. Bring it back in, but don't bring it right in. Don't worry about the hip flexors, more about the lunge part of it, that bit. Stretch off the hamstring, away you go. So you're trying to keep the heart lifted. I'm quite tight on this left hamstring. What's it like for you? What's it like for your lunge, your hip flexor on this side? So as a basic, we're trying to make it evenly a hip flexor and a hamstring. But what you might find, as I'm finding, is my hamstring on this side, that's restricting me more than the lunge on the other. You're going to go 20 odd seconds yet on that side. So we're trying to identify what's tight. So far, it's this left hamstring is affecting me. Try to keep your hips square on, your shoulders square on. Last 5 seconds. And then swap over. Swap over sides. So as a basic, again, the knees in line with the heel. Because it can make a difference if you put it across, get your TFL on. But as a basic. Hip socket distance apart, and away you go. So it's even Stevens, it feels even on this one, so it's equally, if not a little bit more lungy, I can feel it on the hamstrings okay on this side. I know my hamstrings on the left are the problem. So compared to the other side, this feels a breeze. Still getting it, I'm not sinking the heel, you can sink the heel down if you want to. Just like to keep it basic. So you get the beauty of a hamstring stretch and a lunge. If you're not massively restrictive, on the other side, my hamstring was restricting me so much, I wasn't really getting a lunge stretch. Claire, have you got a tighter side?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it the side you're on or the other one?
This one.
So last 5 seconds. And then just go to your tightest side. We're going to do something slightly different. It's going to be a passive hold. So make that the last one. Just come out to that, even if it's the same side, just come out a bit to give your legs a shake. If you want to. And then go to your tighter side, but we're going to hold it out there and keep it out there. So let me just check on Claire. Whenever you're ready, Claire, take it out. Super. And just hold it there. When I say hold it there, we're waiting for tissues to give. So it doesn't want to feel agony, you'll feel distress, but you should be able to keep it there. Already I've got response of that, it's given already. So just stay, just keep it there. I say keep it there, you're trying to, if anything, can you sink into it a bit more? And then slowly come out of that. Give your legs a shake. We're going to do down stretch now, just to give you the heads up, Claire. Now we're going to do different footbar positions with this. I'm going to have it up, for my one, as high up as it will go. Because I want to work shoulders as well, I'm going to have my hands, for me, I can have my hands touching. Have your hands as close as much as your boobs will allow, close together. Allow the pelvis to go forward, the shoulder blades are down the back. Keep the pelvis forward, and that's like a double lunge. As you send, you push away the knees, push away your hands. And as you bring it in, it's the shoulders bringing it in, it's not your lower back bringing it in. Now what I'm going to do now is time under tension, Claire. So slow as you can, several seconds taking it out, pause for several seconds, nice and slow bringing it back in. And we're just going to do one more. Slowly take it out, slow, 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 slow. Pause out there. Focus on the shoulders, the shoulder blades, slowly bringing it back in, not with your lower back, with your shoulders. Brilliant. Sink it down. Put it on. Well, you know by sentence, there's the next one down. A bit at the height, 45 degrees. And again, just check. Nice and slow. Slow, slow, slow. Several seconds going out. We're only doing 2 of these. Pause. We're just doing 2. When you bring it in, you bring it in with your shoulders. Bring it right in, but don't pause. Right in, just slowly go out again. But slow, slow, slow. Slow, 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 slow. Pause. Slowly bring it in. Boy, can I feel my abdominals fire in. Sinking one down, and then put it on the lower one. So for me, it's the lowest one. Same principle, we're only doing 2. Hands close together. Slowly, as slow as you can, take it out. Pause. With your shoulders, slowly, slow as you can. They're bringing it back in. Probably you really feel your stomach fire up and they're bringing it back in. One more. Out of anything, I want you to really focus coming even slower on the way back in. Slow, slow as you can, bring it in. Oh my God. Slow, 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 slow. Oh, come out of that. Boy, can I feel my abdominals. And we're just going to finish on lunges, just to finish. The lightest resistance you've got. Put the football, I say put the football up. We're not actually going to try and use the football. For you, Claire, and certainly for me, put a block under the foot. Hips facing the front, hands on the pelvis. This knee stays over the ankle. Lunge down and hold it down there. Hold it. It's a hold, a passive hold. Lift the heart as high as you can. Is that knee still over the ankle and hold it out there? Can you sink this thigh down? The right thigh, this thigh that's on the couch, down, down, down. Now focus on the heel that's on the floor. Push and bring it in. And then swap over sides. I'm going to join in the foot with this one. The idea of the foot being on the block is to allow, if you've got big thighs or you're really flexible, without the block, that'll be on the ground and that's not stopping you. So, lunge back and hold it there. So again, recap, the knee is above the ankle. Oh, this is tighter. The pelvis and shoulders square onto the front. The heart is lifted and you're trying to sink. The thigh that's on the carriage, you're trying to sink that thigh down, down, down. Ooh. And focus on the heel on the floor, push in. And give your legs a shake. And that's it, my little princess.